Let's talk about trauma in horses. I consider trauma as a horse trainer, as a partnership coach, to be anything that has caused the horse deep suffering, like deep emotional, physical pain that manifests as suffering. And the other layer to it is that the horse's choices and ability to communicate are taken away in those moments. I had a horse where he ended up pulling back really violently in the trailer, and he fully panicked and he ended up snapping the trailer lead, and it was terrifying, and it was terrifying to him, and he definitely had a long-term residual effect one might describe as trauma from that incident. But I don't believe it deeply affected his relationship with me, his trust in me. Because in the aftermath of the incident, I went to care for him. I went to get him to a safer spot. I went to care for his wounds. There was no element of me that in that moment of him already having his choices taken away, and the terror of pulling back, the pain of pulling back, in that moment, I didn't add to it by continuing the violence that he just experienced and continuing that emotional pain, and then making me the person who's giving it to him. Because that's the thing. You can have events where horses experience trauma where for that individual horse, it's determined by the individual horse what deeply affects them in the long term, what traumatic experiences affect them. You can have experiences that stick with them. Then you can have trauma that results from the human. All this to say, horses coming from those backgrounds need a very kind, patient, and one might say trauma-informed lens, that you are very diligent and disciplined about structuring the sessions, that you are very in tune with how your horse communicates their needs and expresses their emotions. And ultimately, you're skilled enough that you're able to guide them through situations where they might touch on a trigger to that trauma that they've experienced in the past. Essentially, someone who is skilled in understanding the horse's nervous system is one of the best tools you can have when you're working with a horse with trauma. But that being said, as the nervous system functions, us humans, if we're looking from one lens of this horse had past abuse history, or maybe they were a BLM horse who got rounded up and was carrying baggage from that, whatever it might be, if we view the horse strictly from this lens of this is the only way this horse is experiencing the world is through those experiences, it's filtered through those experiences, we actually can potentially cause a lot of harm to them and to our relationship with them, and halt the progress we might be able to make in training. Because when we think in any one lens too much, we stop taking in the horse in front of us. We stop considering what this horse might be experiencing in the here and now, because we are limiting the horse to just a version of themselves. And often, if we're thinking of the horse from this lens of, like, the horse had really poor handling and was abused, let's say we have that case, and we go in to catch that same horse. We present the halter, the horse walks away, the horse shows any signs of resistance of, I don't want this right now. If we go back constantly to, this horse must be reacting out of abuse, then we are part of the problem, because that's not considering the horse as a whole sentient being who is constantly changing and developing and experiencing things in the moment, as well as reasonably protecting themselves based off of past experiences. Moral of the story: we don't need to view horses through a limiting lens. Let the horse let you know by listening, by trying things out to test where their boundaries are. Let them inform you on what is and what is not okay with them fundamentally. And then, if it's something that is important to you, investigate those things. Investigate why the horse is uncomfortable with haltering, with trailering, why the horse is uncomfortable with you mounting them to be ridden, whatever it might be. Allow the horse to tell you where their comfort zone is in that moment, and you really might be surprised by letting them guide you with where they're allowing them to express their crucial boundaries for safety. You really might be surprised with how much you can learn from them and how much you can grow with them. Because trauma-informed care in horses comes from going to the animal first, seeing them truly as an individual and taking them in as potentially no other person has done in the past. Being their advocate. And if you would like my support in helping your horse who has experienced trauma, emotional suffering, physical suffering, and is struggling to move through those experiences, please reach out to me. I am offering virtual coaching services at the moment, and in the future, upon getting a working vehicle, I will be offering in-person services as well, based out of Minnesota. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.